Welcome back to Double Al. I'm Alex. We are here with Alan, and today we're going to be recapping the championship and the entire season. This episode's brought to you by Miller Lite.
This episode is brought to you by Peppermint Bark Rum Chata. I have gone ahead and put that in a nice glass of hot chocolate. Mug.
Congrats on making it to the end of your fifth season with us. My fifth season as well. It's been a crazy year. And
yeah, I can't wait to recap this year.
We got to send out our congratulations to Devon Tubbs, who, despite our best efforts, ended up the league champion this year. He certainly had the best team, so it makes sense that he became the champion.
Yeah, congratulations to Devon. Really shocked the world on that one.
Yeah, so let's take a sincere congratulations for real, though.
Yes, indeed. Actually,
I'm a little upset because it was against me that he won. But sincere congratulations. We'll take a look at the game. Really, 127 isn't an amazing score, but I can't say much because I scored 83 points.
Yeah. We have our little visual note down there. Alex did in fact have Jamar Chase on his bench with 55.6. Who he did have in his starting lineup is Antonio Brown, who ran off the field shirtless in the middle of their game.
Yeah, yes, here's a nice graphic of what happened to me this season. Nothing more to say.
I mean, I understand the thought of the Broncos missing a lot of their top receivers. Buccaneers missing a lot of their top receivers.
That was the idea.
That was the thought, but I don't know if I can rationalize putting Jamar Chase on the bench in any circumstance.
No, and we also have Dalvin Cook up there with 4.3, my first pick of the season. Decided to go and score 4.3. I believe it was 10 degrees at that game, though. It was very cold. So, can I cut him some slack?
Who knows? What we didn't add to the visual note is that Alex also had Noah Fant on his bench, and he decided to play Foster Moreau instead.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, with Jamar Chase over Antonio Brown or anybody alone, he would have won. But if he had Jamar Chase and Noah Fant in there, it would have been a lopsided score.
Mm-hmm. My thinking behind the Foster play was that the main tight end for Vegas was out. He's also on my team. So I thought maybe he would get some more receptions, and that did not really happen.
No.
So,
pretty decent scores all around for Devon's team.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really stands out at you. Maybe the 20 from David Montgomery, 18.5 from Rob Gronkowski was also a good score for him. But besides that, and 17 from the Saints D is really good too. But besides that, nothing really jumps out at you from Devon's scoring.
Mm-mm. No. But, a dub's a dub, and this is the most important game of the year. Devon will be receiving this at, I guess, my earliest convenience whenever I see him next. I will make sure I get that to him. I have a statement from Devon that I'm going to share with the Double L viewers. It was very long. I had to print it off because of how long it was. Good evening, fellow league members. I have many people to thank for my team's success this season. Firstly, I would like to thank all the managers in the league for the intense matchups. Our success as a league would not be possible without the tireless effort each manager puts in. Secondly, I would like to thank all the haters and doubters of Alan Fourputts. Without you, I would have no reason to strive for the level of excellence that is needed to win the Shriram. I know that some of my decisions throughout the season were heavily questioned, such as my draft picks. Rightfully so. But I think it's safe to say all my decisions led me to exactly where I wanted to be, at the top. I would also like to take the time to thank the two Als for their great show. Thanks, Devon.
Thank you, Devon.
We do appreciate that. It has been a wonderful addition to our league, and I hope it continues for a very long time. Just because he said that, this is the final episode of Double L. No. Finally, I would like to thank myself. I am the sole reason why I was able to bring home that beautiful Shriram. All the time that I spent looking at matchups at the waiver wire, impossible trades did not pass in vain, but added another piece to the season-long puzzle that is fantasy football. It is a pleasure to be part of the league not only as a manager but also as your commissioner. As your commissioner, I have some exciting news about this upcoming offseason, and just want it to be known that Alex and I are working on something big for the offseason. That's true, we are working on something. Thank you all again for a tremendously successful season, and I am so happy that no on. That's how it ends.
That's how it ends.
I am that no on.
So can we get any insider info on this little surprise that's coming up, or is that going to remain confidential?
It's still in the works. We're going to have to keep that a secret for now.
Fair enough.
I can give you a little Al-to-Al information afterwards.
I like that. Maybe I'll tweet it out. I won't.
If you can tweet it out.
I don't have Twitter.
For the rest of the league, that's going to stay under wraps. But
I think we need to place a bit of a rule going forward, and it might be tough to pass this rule because Devon is our commissioner. But if I'm not mistaken, Devon did have Shriram Hathwar himself bless his team this season, did he not?
Yeah, he did. Wow.
We might have to outlaw any Shriram blessings.
Or
maybe not. Maybe Devon just had that advantage.
Some of my own. Wow.
Maybe
you're
I
just reminding me of that. I think that's the reason he won.
I'm gonna say it. I think that's it.
That is an unbelievable
It can't be the fact that he had a superior team to most other people in the league.
No. One thing we can mention is next year he does not have a third-round pick. So
next year his third-round pick has been replaced with a last-round pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put out a not-so-bold prediction that next year he will not be winning the championship. Maybe that'll be a gap year where he trades away some of his players for more picks for following year. We'll see what happens.
Well, we know that Devon is active on the trade block and active on the waiver wire, so
he's a crafty manager.
He is. I would not be surprised if he's able to make up for that the loss of the third-round pick.
Yeah, but thank you, Devon, for being the anti-hero here. We appreciate
every story needs its antagonists and protagonists.
Yes, it does.
And sometimes, in the case of Devon, it's somewhere in that gray area between.
So, recapping the playoffs, in the wild card round, Dom defeated Ian and Joey defeated Ryan. In the semifinals, I defeated Dom and Devon defeated Joey. And then in the Shriram Bowl, it was Devon who came out on top. Notable non-participants of the playoffs were the other Al.
My team just fell apart at the wrong time. I don't know what to say. And then it started playing well as soon as I missed the playoffs.
Let's look at the Griff Bowl. And what's the
consensus? Fantasy football sucks.
What's the consensus on the Griff Bowl? Because Zane said he was going to voluntarily lose, but then he won this game.
Zane did say he was going to voluntarily lose. However,
was that a mind game?
I don't know as if it was a mind game. I think it was him legitimately thinking that if he lost that game, that he would have no shot of winning the Griff Bowl game. But I mean, seeing as Zane won, I feel like every single year that we've had the league, we've had an asterisk on the loser. We've had people who didn't really participate lose, so then
there's been no asterisk on the losers.
Listen, I'm just saying
you're just saying that because 2 years ago you were the Griff.
Okay. Sure, I was not, but I wasn't the Griff. I had the fourth lowest record.
Well, that's
but we had two people who never played.
Jeff had a 6-8 record at the end of this year. Zane had a 4-10.
Well, we didn't have a Ladder of Sadness tournament that year. We just didn't want to give it to the two people who were in the league that never participated and never set their lineups. So then we forced Owen and I to have one game that decided who loses, and I lost that game. I'm not saying that In the history books, I will go down as a Griff loser, I guess, a Griff winner. I don't know how you want to say that. However, I think there's an asterisk on that one. Last year, we also had an asterisk because we had a first-time member of the league lose, and then we all lost contact with him, and I still have the trophy at my house, even though I was in the playoffs last year.
Well, the reason you
So
didn't make the playoffs this year is because you had that bad juju. Just so you know.
yeah, no. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that we can have another season. Like, we had a very clear set of, as much as some people, including myself, don't necessarily agree with the ladder of sadness.
It's a clear set of rules.
It's a clear set of rules that were predetermined at the beginning of the year. And seeing as Jeff somehow ultimately lost that and Zane came out on top in the first game, or in the last game, we can't have Zane be the owner of the Griff now. It's got to be Jeff.
It's got to be Jeff.
And that's because there's been too much blurriness in the past few years with who actually lost the league.
There's been some shenanigans, as you might say.
I would say.
Anyways, congrats to Zane and sorry, Jeff. First year, pretty
Sorry,
tough.
Jeff. I have no idea. Jeff's team was definitely better than a lot of teams.
feel
So
like-
he kind of ran into the same situation that I did, where his team got bad at the wrong time, and then he just ran into some teams that really outperformed themselves in the ladder of sadness.
He outscored me this week.
Yeah, he had a good team. I seriously, like, he just got extremely unlucky in the ladder tournament. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So
Agreed. All right, Joey Burrow, highest quarterback fantasy score this week. Rashad Perry, highest running back score. And that wide receiver, Jamar Chase, on my bench, as well as Noah Fant on my bench. I want to say 55.6 is either the highest or the second highest wide receiver fantasy score of the year. It is extremely impressive. I think Joe Mixon had a higher one, but he's a running back, so
running back.
I don't know. But kicker, Jason Myers, 17.
I think Jonathan Taylor also had a higher score this year, but also a running back. So
Yeah. And then defense, Chicago put up 21. There's no asterisk, so I hope that's the actual number, Joey. I have no idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. That's the second week in a row that you've had the highest scoring wide receiver in the league on your bench, huh?
Is it?
Yeah, because it was T. Higgins the week before.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god.
Those Bengals wide receivers, man, you
I
gotta
don't know which one to play.
just play both. You'd have been fine this week if you played both.
Yeah.
They're both used pretty equally in that offense.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, where did I go wrong? I said Jeff
A
and
lot of
Allen were going to
places.
be in the playoffs. They weren't. I predicted a Joey Allen final bracket, and that's not correct at all. It was myself and Devon, and then if I didn't get the Shriram matchup right, of course I didn't get the Shriram champion right. So pretty much a horrible prediction from myself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we both had some pretty bad predictions. I don't know whose is actually worse. I also predicted two people that didn't make the playoffs to be in the playoffs. That
I
would
think
be
they were equally
myself and Owen. Yeah, they were pretty equally bad. And I had Ian and myself in the Shriram Bowl, which neither of us were even all that close to. So, just like you, my prediction was way off.
All right, and now we take a look at the final standings of the league for this year. Starting from the bottom, Jeff sadly came away in his first year of the league in last place, trial by fire. He will be back next year. He's a good fantasy football player, so I predict he will do better next season. He was 1 week away from making it into the playoffs. So,
He was.
pretty sad, but that's how this league works. We can talk about it in the offseason if we want to change it, but that's how it works.
Yep.
Finishing in 11th is Zane. I think rightfully so. I feel like he's a 11, 12 player. Anthony came in at 10. Alan, you came in at 9. The fourth worst player in the league this year. And then we had Owen and Bobby rounding out the top of the ladder of sadness. Ryan finishing in 6th. The top 5 were Ian, Dom, Joey, Alex, and our champion was Devon for the second time. Congrats to Devon once more.
Looking at this list,
Sure, he's excited
you gotta
about
wonder. The past couple of years, Christian McCaffrey has been the top pick in the league, or as Zane likes to call him, Glass Bones McCaffrey. So I'm sure next year we will see that probably will not continue. I would assume he's just because when McCaffrey plays, he plays really well, but that's a big when.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, good point.
it'll be interesting to see who the top picks are next year. I don't think McCaffrey's going to be among them. I just think the injury history is too prevalent.
I think we're going to see Jonathan Taylor in the top 3.
Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, probably.
I think, yeah, Derrick Henry's going to be up there. Jamar Chase is going to be up there as well. I didn't really get any predictions together, but that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of time.
Yes, there is. And before we move on, that Joey and Dom, 3 and 4, they played a game this week that determined who was 3rd and who was 4th, and that was within 1 point. It was extremely close. Dom had a pretty high percentage chance of winning that game going into the final game of the week in the NFL, and Joey's players came out on top. So good job to Joey. We didn't put that in the slides, but that was a very close game. Yeah. Top 3 is nothing to be ashamed of. And now we look at the championships totals. I have 2, Devon now has 2, and Zane has 1. Alan, I don't have my glasses on today, but I don't see your name on that list.
Yeah, I think you might have just. It's like really small on there. It's like, maybe down in the corner a little bit. Yeah. Back when I won it in 2000.
Maybe you'll win it next year. Who knows?
Yeah, hey, I've made the playoffs once in 5 years, so that's got to say something about me.
You do?
I make fun of Joey for his obsession with the waiver wire transactions, but he makes the playoffs. He's made the playoffs more than me, and he's been in the league for less years. So maybe he's got a point. Maybe I got to play the waiver wire next year a little bit more.
You do have 2 4th-round picks next year, so that's a positive. However,
I do.
Huge negative. You don't have a 2nd-round pick.
See, this is my hill that I'm choosing to die on. I don't think that no offense to Devon, but I think he got swindled in that trade. I mean, he ended up winning a championship, so I guess it all worked out in the end. But when Owen and I did our I think it's going to hurt him in the draft next year. When Owen and I did our trade, I wanted to make sure that I was not giving up a high draft pick for a low draft pick. So Owen and I came out, and I think both of the draft picks that we secured are fine. I think that having 2 4ths and not having a 2nd is much better than not having a 3rd but having 2 last round picks, in my opinion. I'm not too worried about the draft next year. I don't think that not having a 2nd puts me at too big a disadvantage.
No, probably not.
Because you got to think about who was drafted in the 2nd round this week. I know Joey drafted Calvin Ridley in the 2nd round. So, there's always that chance that you draft somebody who just ends up being not good. That's true.
Let's take a look at your preseason predictions, Alan. Take us through these.
So I thought that the Griff was going to be between Owen and Anthony. I was close-ish to being correct. Neither of those teams made the playoffs. Both teams performed pretty poorly most of the year, except for Owen had a nice little streak in there where he was looking like he could be a playoff team. Hence why I put him in my playoff predictions. I thought that Joey was going to pull off his first ever trade in the league. He, at the beginning of the season, was definitely vocal about how he was interested in doing it. He ended up not doing it. Joey, a vocal objector of the trading of draft picks. He did not want to trade away any draft picks. He also didn't. He wasn't in a position to trade for draft picks because he had a good team. Ian makes a deep playoff run. Also false.
He did make it to the playoffs.
He made the playoffs, lost in the first game. So it wasn't. There's a difference between making the playoffs and making a deep playoff run.
You made your prediction too specific.
I guess so. And then Jeff. This is
wrong.
This is Stephen A. Smith territory for like a terrible prediction. I predicted that Jeff, who, if you remember, lost the Griff.
Finished in last place.
I've finished in last place. I predicted that he would finish the year better than Devon,
who finished in first.
Who won. So that's that might have been a little bit of jinxing on my part. I'm sorry, but that's a terrible, in hindsight, terrible prediction.
Yeah.
But who could have seen it coming? They were pretty close for a lot of the year. So
that's true. It was pretty close. And for that prediction about Joey, nearing the trade deadline, he was pretty close. He was in talks with several teams about making some trades, and they just didn't fall into place. I think that was just wrong place, wrong time sort of thing. I think there are scenarios in which he would have traded. It just didn't come to be.
I know Joey and Ian were definitely in some talks about Joey. Joey was close, I think, to, and I could be very wrong about this, but I think Joey was very close to trading Calvin Ridley for one of Ian's good running backs. So
he was, and then he didn't, and then Calvin Ridley got hurt. So,
he didn't get hurt. He
got hurt in the head.
Yeah. So, Joey was close. I think besides my last prediction, I was like kind of close on all my predictions, but like not close enough.
They all say false.
They do all say false.
Let's look at mine. I have some trues next to mine. I think I was just more general, though. I predicted Dom would make a playoff run, which was true. He did make it into the playoffs. I didn't specify deep, which is why that ends up being true. Dom did make it to the semifinals, so that's pretty cool. I said Devon's team was going to fall short of expectations and lose in the first week of the playoffs, which was false. Devon didn't even play in the first week of the playoffs. He had a bye week. So that one was pretty false. He ended up winning. That was a horrible prediction from myself. I said Christian McCaffrey was going to get hurt early, which happened. Glass bones. Second year in a row. McCaffrey. So that was a pretty good prediction from myself. And
Zane auto-drafted him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Zane would not have drafted him. Zane is not very high on Christian McCaffrey fantasy-wise.
He probably would have Dalvin Cook or
he decided to go out partying. Or maybe not partying, but he was out drinking with some friends from the Air Force Academy.
He went to a minor league baseball
game. Yeah. He went to a minor league baseball game. So Zane was on auto-draft.
And then Devon hitting the trading block shortly after week 1. That did happen. It was in week 2, which is shortly after week 1, but Devon made trades very quickly. He ended up making the most trades out of any team this year, and it turned out well for him.
Zane does not have a great track record with going to minor league baseball games.
No, that's 2 that I can think of that ended poorly.
One of them, he got Christian McCaffrey. The other one, well, yeah.
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 All right. Anything else to say before we end this season 1 of Double L and this season 5 of the league?
We got a new Peyton picture on there. He's looking a little, he's looking like he was out, went on vacation, maybe went to the beach for a little bit.
Look a little northeast of his Hall of Fame bust and you'll see his face.
Yeah. We had to, size it down because we're filling up this slide with Manning photos. So, he was out partying and was apparently wearing sunscreen all over his face except for one rectangle on his forehead. So that's the story I'm going with. And, I'm sure it probably was just like him. I don't even know.
Stick with it.
Yeah, that's what we're going with.
Yeah. Well, thank you, viewers. We appreciate all the support we've received this first season.
That we do.
Devon, congratulations. I will be delivering this to you very shortly. And you know, you're probably not going to get it next year. I hate to say that on live TV like this, but you don't have a third round pick, so best of luck to you.
We also we would like to thank everybody who has viewed and everybody who has been very supportive of our Jets vlog. That was definitely a big thing for the company, and we are glad that we were able to produce a vlog out of that, and that people received it pretty well.
Yeah, thank you to our production intern for helping edit that, Joey Brucey.
Yes, Joey 100% edited the vlog, and it wasn't entirely me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Keep watching out for more Double L content. I would venture to say just because the season is over does not mean that we are done.
Yeah, there should be some more coming out.
There will be
before the
more
season
content
starts.
coming out. Maybe not weekly, but maybe weekly. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't thought about it at all.
Neither have I. All right. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Oh, this has got to be a sad dance.
This is the last dance. I don't know who Michael Jordan is. This is my last dance.